Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to the starting lineup tonight. Y'all know him as They Love the Flow. I know him as great value Justin Herbert. Center fielder for the Yankees. Number 99, Jalen. He Luna, talk to him.
Up next for the Baltimore Orioles, coming in at 6 foot, we'll say 2.
4.
6'4", weighing. This is a family-friendly show, so I ain't gonna get into all of that. Let's see here. We know him as Big Bird. I know him
Big
as
Vanilla.
Sure, Big Vanilla. I call him Soft Syrup. Or Great Value Luke Combs from the University of Maryland at shortstop, number 8. Derek Mackenzie Fuster.
That's enough of that. Goes without saying, we do not own the copyrights to them songs. Do not sue us. We is poor.
Yeah, we ain't got that much money.
Yeah. So this is the, I believe, is it 11th or 12th installment?
This is
11.
So this is the Larry Fitzgerald episode of the WhattaPlay podcast.
Your third.
Once again, as always, I'm your co-host Jalen Luna, also known as JTL.
Also known as Great Value Tony Stark. Also known as Great Value Justin Herbert, the man who can do a really good Herbert the pervert.
That's right, son.
And as always, I am your co-host Dereck M. Fuster. As co-host Jalen told you, the M stands for Mackenzie. I will be asked if you got a problem with that. Also known as Big Vanilla. Also known as your mom's favorite. Also known as my favorite player on the Ravens. Sometimes it's Devin Duvernay, so hide the mother truck and buffet. Derek Fuster. All right, this is episode 11. Let's get into it. Over the weekend, we had opening weekend MLB season. We're going to start with some baseballs.
Yes, sir. And as you can see, we are both showing team pride today, as y'all know. Bronx Bombers, Pinstripe Nation, let's get it, baby. Chase for 28. Go Yankees and
Chase for 2.
Yeah, how's that feel? But yeah.
I mean, at least I've never switched up on a team to bandwagon.
And as you can see to my right, Cohost Dereck is rocking a throwback Cal Ripken jersey.
Let's also get the throwback hat.
Also known as the only relevant Orioles jersey you can probably wear nowadays.
Trey Mancini. Say something.
All right, fine, he gets a pass.
Yeah, say something negative about that man. I dare you.
He plays for Baltimore.
That man beat cancer, you sick truck.
I mean, he says something negative about him. He plays for Baltimore. Well, I'm not going to go that dark, but I mean, he plays for the Orioles.
That was about to be messed up, what I was about to say.
Alright, so basically what this is we're going to do a little bit of a MLB preview. Like Derek said, as Derek said, over the past week, it was opening day across the MLB. Fans are in the stands, so we're getting closer and closer to going back to normalcy in the world.
Fans are in the stands. I believe the Rangers Stadium was at full capacity over this opening weekend.
Rangers Stadium ain't gonna need that full capacity.
Who go to see the Rangers? The only Ranger I want to see, if I'm going to see any Ranger, is the Ranger that's chasing Yogi Bear, where he be like, "Hey, boo boo." Biscuit. Oh yeah, third.
Alright, so we're gonna go over, what happened in the off season, kind of the big main things that happened in the off season. We'll give our predictions on who we think is gonna win the division, wild card, and we'll give our World Series prediction, sneak preview. I got these guys winning it all.
Well, of course
so,
you do.
Well, I mean, it is my team, so it's
Fair. I mean, I got my team winning it all, even though I know that's a pipe dream and a delusion. So.
Yeah, you know, the Orioles going to win the World Series, they need them to turn off MLB The Show.
How mad are you going to be if we come back to do an episode and they somehow win?
What, a game?
No.
Or the World Series?
The World Series. Because you remember how cocky I was when the Lakers won the finals last year. If it's a home team for me, you ain't seen nothing yet, bucko.
Okay. So, getting started here with our MLB preview. I actually did some work this time, Derek. I did some work.
Yeah, I know, because I made him do the work.
No, I can do this on my own.
He did.
Shout out to Jordan Tree, who is also a sports personality YouTuber, one of the best out there. Personally, one of my
Subscribe
favorites.
to our podcast.
Yeah, A Tree. If you come across the video, man, we're big fans. Let's make a collab someday in the future. But yeah, so we're gonna start off in the AL East. Obviously, me and Derek, our teams are division rivals.
Yes, they are. They're playing currently right now. Last I checked, the Yankees were up 1-0, bottom of the fourth. Believe some time's passed. We'll update the score on the Twitter page tomorrow.
Yeah. So starting off with the AL East, I'm actually gonna start off with your Baltimore Orioles. In all honesty, y'all still rebuilding, man. They're still one of the worst teams in baseball. I'm not trying to talk no mess or whatever, but it is what it is. But in the offseason, they did get some big name pitchers. They got Matt Harvey, who used to play for the Mets, and Felix Hernandez, who gained fame with the Mariners his long illustrious career. And of course, the big one for you, Trey Mancini, defeating cancer.
Trey Mancini coming back. I believe he was diagnosed with cancer last year around March, April, right before the season was supposed to start, before, everything shut down because of cough. Not only did this man beat cough, not to say he's had it, but knock on wood, hopefully he don't get it, but he beat cancer and is playing baseball again. That's you're truly an inspiration, man.
Yeah, I mean, whatever team you go for, man, anybody who beats cancer just in general, it's one of those, it's definitely a feel-good story, and you just gotta be happy for him or her.
Yes, definitely.
But going back to baseball, Derek, don't expect them to do much this year, man.
Don't tell me what to do. To quote the mailman from Drake and Josh.
Have a nice day.
Don't tell me what to do. Eat.
All right, and going to my team's main rival, the Boston Red Sox. They're still rebuilding. Basically every key contributor from a 2018 World Series team, they've gone and left.
Who swept them this weekend?
I don't know, y'all.
Yeah, us.
Yeah, well, the Red Sox are kind of just as bad as y'all are now, so do you, I guess.
Yes, but at least I stick with my teams.
I'm a bandwagon Arizona Cardinals fan. Y'all heard it.
He's also a bandwagon Gonzaga fan, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
Not really, but hey. But yeah, so the Red Sox, they're still rebuilding. But Alex Cora, to those who aren't familiar, he was synonymous in the big Astros cheating scandal. He was employed with the Red Sox when they won the World Series, but ultimately he lost his job because he was on the Astros coaching staff when the scandal went on. So basically he was coached by association. He was fired, but they brought him back. So, let's see what happens down there in Boston. Probably not much.
They're gonna be looking for the khakis.
Boston sports are pretty down bad though nowadays, but we love to see it.
Yes.
Yes, we do. All right, and going out to my team, the Bronx Bombers. Somewhat of an eventful offseason for us. We re-signed Alex LeMahieu. He's going back on a $90 million deal. In my opinion, it's good to keep some of the main core together. So bringing him back was definitely a big deal to us. Masahiro Tanaka, he actually went back to Japan. And if I'm being honest, he had his moments, but to me, he really didn't do much. So him going back to the motherland, it is what it is. But in his place, we did pick up some pretty decent pitchers, in my opinion. Corey Kluber from the Rangers, who was there last season. That was a big pickup for us. And then Jameson Tellian, I know I mispronounced the name, from the Pirates. I mean, in my opinion, that for the past couple of years now, that was Yankees' main thing was pitching. You know, we kept getting all these bats, all that good stuff, but we never addressed pitching. Obviously, last offseason, we got a big one in Garrett Cole. This year, we added some more pitching, so it seemed like the Steinbrenners are finally addressing that one final piece of the puzzle that we need in order to get a 28th World Series championship.
Not happening.
But besides that, the one other noteworthy thing was Brett Gardner came back on a 1-year, $4 million deal, kind of a pocket change type deal when you consider all the big contracts that MLB players get nowadays, which we will recap that as we go along.
Yeah, we're not going to do that all right now. It would just take forever. This man has some places he would like to be by 8:30. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, national championship games on tonight. We'll get into that a bit later in this episode. But Jalen, we've talked about your team. We've talked about my team. Just quickly run down some standings.
Well, all right. So basically, wrap it all up. As we all know, baseball season started. I'm just gonna address all the big name changes in the offseason. Tampa Bay Rays went to the World Series last year. Lost one of their main pitchers to Blake Snell. To the Padres, Blue Jays signed George Springer from the Astros for $150 million. AL Central, most of the teams in that division is still rebuilding. Kind of a mad kind of division. And the AL West.
The West?
AL West, yeah. Where the Cheaters play. Obviously, the loss of George Springer and Justin Verlander, who probably.
I prefer Jerry Springer.
He's probably not gonna play this year. Again, that's another classic case of good team in a weak division. As the Angels, Athletics, Mariners, and Rangers, they really haven't done much to improve. Now going to the NL, the big news in the National League East for the Mets, they got Francisco Lindor. At first, it was a 1-year, $22 million deal, but just last week it was reported that he signed for a 10-year, $320 million deal. As you all know, those baseball contracts are huge.
They are outrageous.
So, I mean, I guess Lindor found a future home with the Mets. Not the the best New York team, but I mean, hey, he's making more than I'm probably ever make in my life.
He's making more than both of us will probably ever make in our combined lives, if we're being honest.
So I mean, hey, more power to you. NL Central, kind of one again, kind of meh in there. The Brewers though, they did get Jackie Brantley from the Red Sox, the one other piece from that 2018 team. $24 million 2-year deal over there. And Nolan Arenado, synonymous for his time with the Colorado Rockies, got traded to St. Louis. And NL West, this is where it gets fun. You have defending champion LA Dodgers, basically bringing everybody back. They got Trevor Bauer, one of the top pitchers in the game. 3-year, $102 million deal. And the Padres loaded, man. Padres are loaded. Like I said,
who they got?
They got Blake Snell from Tampa, Yu Darvish from Chicago. I've always personally been a Yu Darvish fan, so not saying back on a contender. And of course, the big one over there for them, Fernando Tatis Jr. Tatis. I'm messing up these names, man.
Yes.
I mean, it is what it is. He got paid too.
How much?
14-year, $240 million.
And also, who remind me? There's another guy that plays for that team that I'm a fan of. No?
Oh yeah, Machado?
Machado. The O's did you dirty, my man. I know it. Angelo's a bitch. I'll say it. I don't like him as an owner. I don't think the Orioles are going to be better until we get new ownership. It is what it is. But Machado, I'm happy for you. Not going to rep a Padres jersey, though.
Interesting.
Yes.
But yeah, that was kind of a brief rundown of what happened in the baseball offseason. So in terms of playoff predictions for myself, who I got going, AL East champs, New York, AL Central champs, we'll say the White Sox. The White Sox came on strong last year, proved that,
Do you know the Sox are like on an 0-3 losing streak right now, yet? Granted, baseball's 182 games, but
Yeah, I mean, the season just started. Everyone's still working out the kinks. But the White Sox, they have Jose Abreu. I believe he was AL MVP last year. Tim Anderson. They got a lot of youth down there on the south side of Chicago. So the White Sox are going to be fun to watch. Shout out EDP. He's a White Sox fan.
of course he is.
So those videos are going to be fun. And AL West, I'm kind of going to go on a limb here. And I'll say the Angels will win the AL West over Houston. They have Joe Madden there from Chicago, obviously broke Chicago World Series drought down there. Mike Trout, Shinoi Otani. Again, I'm butchering names like crazy now today. For those who know who I'm talking about, dual threat Japanese player for the Angels, pitcher, hitter. I mean, the guy can do it all, but can he stay healthy is the main thing. So I got Anaheim taking that division over the Astros, and for my wild card, I'll say Tampa and Toronto. I mean, yeah, Tampa, they did lose a lot of players in free agency, but Toronto, they got, as much as I hate to say it, I mean, they got the youth movement down there. George Springer, a big veteran leadership. He has postseason experience. He has a ring. So, they got Vlad Road Jr. down there, Craig Biggio's son. The future is bright in Toronto. So those Yankee Blue Jay games going forward definitely gonna be must-see TV.
Go Blue Jays.
I mean, I can't hate on, man. You know, I like that logo.
Yeah, kind of how you have the hat.
I lost the hat.
Of course you did. You lost the hat like Tony Stark lost the kid. Here's what I'll say on the baseball front. I'm not really that big a fan. I'm the type of guy that prefers to go to a game and see it live. I haven't been to one since 2014 with my pops. Hopefully the Orioles can somehow shut a lot of people up, including myself, and somehow make it in. I'm going to say just because he said somebody else and I know he hates the Astros, I'm going to say they make it in.
Yeah, well, everyone hates the Astros, though.
Yeah, but didn't you say the Dodgers made it last year and they also brought everybody back?
The Dodgers won the World Series last year.
Yeah, but they brought everybody back the same way the Buccaneers and the NFL brought everybody back, right?
Basically, yeah.
So then what's to say that they won't make it in again?
Well, NL, those are the two conferences.
No, I get that, but...
So basically for my National League playoff predictions, NL East, I got the Braves winning it again over the Mets. I feel like the Braves, who they got on their team, Freddie Freeman, Ronald Acuna Jr.
Ronald McDonald?
Nah, this guy's a baseball player.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, they went all the way to the ALCS last year. I mean, the NLCS last year, but in true Atlanta sports fashion, they choked to the Dodgers.
So what Atlanta does. Also, there is something else I want to talk about before we wrap up our baseball segment. The MLB All-Star Game has been moved out of Atlanta, correct? Do we know why that is?
So apparently Georgia's voting laws, the MLB frowned upon that, so they moved the game out of Atlanta this year. It was supposed to be played at Atlanta at the Braves Stadium this summer. A replacement day has yet to be named, but if I may make a recommendation, come down to Arlington, man. They got a new stadium. Y'all just had the World Series down there.
Yo, if they let fans in, you want to go?
I'm down.
Bet.
But yeah, that's our other little bit of MLB baseball news. Going off of my predictions as well. NL Central, like I said, Louis taking it, and the NL West, that division, especially between the Dodgers and the Padres, that's gonna be a bloodbath, man. Those games are gonna be must TV. But the Dodgers are the defending world champs, so I got them win that division. But in terms of wild card, I got San Diego and I'll say Milwaukee. Why not?
I'll go with San Diego as well, just because I can't not back Machado. He is still my favorite baseball player. Also, your comeback player of the year for the American League, I don't think you can disagree with me here. It should be, and it most likely is going to be Trey Mancini. That said, we like to keep things low-key. Speaking of low-key, did you see the trailer for that new Loki series?
I did. Shout out Owen Wilson.
Wow. So all I have to say is wow. Without giving too much away, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we had WandaVision. We have
Winter Soldier going on.
We have Fat Dubs, as it's called. People call it Fat Dubs. And now we're getting Loki. So Kevin Feige's been busting his ass. Great to see. I'm excited for it. Obviously, in Infinity War, Loki was murdered at the hands of Grimace. And if you're going to say spoiler alert, it's been 2 years since that movie came out. I won't spoil Endgame just because my girlfriend hasn't seen it yet, and I plan on showing that to her when we go down to Florida in a couple weeks.
This man gonna come back Florida, man.
I'm gonna come back Coochie, man.
Alright, so basically what got making a World Series, I got Yankees beating the Dodgers in 6 and Yankees gonna win 28.
You thought he was Kobe. Them kids out there think they Kobe too, but they not. But anyways, going on from that to some NFL news. Did you see who was hosting Jeopardy this week?
Oh yeah, so Aaron Rodgers dipping his hands into more business funds. He will be a celebrity host on Jeopardy for a handful of episodes. For those who don't know, Aaron Rodgers is actually a big fan of the show. I believe he's guest host before. So, I mean, it's nice to see NFL players, out there making, special appearances.
Yeah, you see it all the time on Family Feud. You'll have the NFL, or not NFL, excuse me, AFC versus NFC. You could do a Super Bowl versus Super Bowl one if you wanted. That said, obviously, for those of you who don't know, the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek, passed away. I don't believe it was that long ago. It may have been, but may he rest in peace. And yeah, Aaron Rodgers is hosting it. Funnily enough, I did see a preview clip, and let's just say it's worth tuning into. Speaking of that, we will now get into some NFL news. The big one on the NFL front was what were we talking about for NFL?
So this breaking news kind of broke a couple hours ago.
Oh yeah, mind if I do?
Can I do it?
Yeah, you were the Jets fan. Go ahead.
Yeah, word. Sam Darnold, you're free, buddy. You're free. Go and be free. You're going to Carolina.
Carolina. Sweet home care. It don't got the same ring. But yeah, he gonna ice up, son.
Yeah, so earlier this afternoon, Sam Darnold was traded to Carolina for a couple of
draft picks.
Like Derek said, I am a former New York Jets fan. Former New York Jets fan, in case he didn't emphasize it enough. Oh, I know there's going to be some people watching who are going to need that friendly reminder.
Former New York Jets fan.
Yeah.
Current Arizona Cardinals fan. Probably down the line, future wherever Bridgewater goes fan. Speaking of which, excuse me, where do you think your boy Teddy B is going to end up going? I do have a prediction.
Oh, man. I mean, as you guys know, I'm a huge Teddy Bridgewater fan. I've been following him since his days up in Louisville. And I've been definitely one of his biggest advocates in terms of how his career should pan out. I mean, the man really proved that he can win in the NFL.
Yes,
it's not his fault. It's not his fault that most of Carolina's offensive weapons last year was hurt. DJ Moore was hurt. McCaffrey missed a good chunk of the season. He was with the rookie head coach. So I mean, it's not fair that he hasn't had the good run that he truly deserves. But I kind of did see some rumors floating around that he may be going to Philly.
You saw Philly?
Yeah, I saw it on some Explore Instagram pages, some Philly Eagle fan pages.
Okay, so nothing confirmed, because I've seen a rumor floating around on NFL Twitter, and I know that's not reliable, but we like to speculate and...
Yeah, I mean, all these are rumors at this point.
I saw Denver, but that would mean that the GM of the Broncos, which is a new GM now, because we all know that John Elway had a thing for Caucasian vanilla quarterbacks. Listen, buddy, vanilla Drew Lock ain't gonna work. Bridgewater is a better quarterback than Drew Lock. I don't care who disagrees. If you do, you don't know football, if I'm being honest with you.
No Teddy Bridgewater slander will be tolerated here at the WhattaPlay podcast.
No Teddy Bridgewater slander will be tolerated at the WhattaPlay podcast. I was agreeing with you. I don't know why I said it sarcastically.
But I mean, hey, Teddy B to Denver, I can see it. I mean, Denver definitely got, they have some young receivers. They got Jerry Jeudy. KJ Hamler. Keyshawn Hamilton. I believe they have one more guy from SMU. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But yeah, Denver got some weapons down there low key. Mm-hmm. So I mean, Teddy B to Denver. I'm also going to be more happy at the fact that he's still in the league.
Yes. So obviously you've seen with mobile quarterbacks before. RG3, currently an unrestricted free agent. He's not in it. And the man did have a promising career before he came into the league. When he first came into the league, should I say, he was Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, damn Dan Snyder for injuring a guy who you guys dubbed as the future of the Redskins.
To be fair, that wasn't Dan.
You guys are calling yourselves nowadays.
To be fair, that wasn't so much Dan Snyder that injured him as it was Haloti Ngata that injured him.
In the playoff game?
In the game before the Ravens went to the playoffs, Haloti Ngata crushed his lower leg, and that's kind of what messed him up. Ironic to think he signed with us a couple years later to be Lamar's backup.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, nothing but love. But RG3 down here, he's still
a legend.
Yeah, down here he's still a legend. I still remember when he won the Heisman. I went to the little parade they had for him down in his old high school. Mm-hmm. So yeah, still nothing but love for RG3, man. He definitely had a little area we call home hyped up for a little bit.
Definitely. And Devin Duvernay, do your homework. I don't know where that came from. But speaking of Devin Duvernay, the NFL is going to propose, so there's going to be a rule proposed where jersey restrictions are going to be eased up on. And what that means is that players in college who, let's say like linebackers, DBs, they used to only be able to wear numbers like 40, 30 something.
Higher up double digit numbers.
Higher up double digits. This allows them to do singular digits. Now, I wouldn't want this to pass this year because obviously there's people buying jerseys. There's some that are going to stay the same. Like I don't see Kyler Murray going and changing his jersey. Rodgers is synonymous with 12. Lamar's synonymous with number 8. Patrick Queen also wore number 8, so maybe, I don't know, do a race. Lamar would smoke him, but yeah, that's pretty cool to see. And also, speaking of the NFL, there's going to be a 17th game added to the NFL schedule this year.
Yeah, so with the addition of that 17th game, there was a lot of mixed reviews from players, fans. Albert Kamara voiced his displeasure with the 17th game. I know Arizona will be playing Cleveland, I think, in Glendale this season, so we're going to get K1 versus Baker Part 2.
Yes, that's always an exciting game. The Ravens will be playing the Rams, and the last time that happened, we saw Lamar Jackson put 5 up on them, so I'm excited. And also, the last team Marcus Peters played for before he played for said Ravens was the Rams.
Whatever noise a ram makes.
I don't know.
Clashing of the horns. I don't know. There we go.
That just sounds like you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing in your bedroom when your parents are coming home. We're family friendly. Is we though?
But asking you, how do you feel about the 17th game to the season?
The 17th game to the season is going to take a physical toll, both psychologically and mentally on the players. I can see why they would not want a 17th game, but at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Profit. Money, there's a 17th game, there's a chance for more teams to make the playoffs. With the addition of the 17th game, though, you can no longer be a 500 team.
So Dallas, y'all ain't going 8-8 no more. Y'all gonna go 8-9.
They gonna go 9-8. What you talking about?
Like that's any better.
If I did the math right there, yeah, I did the math right. But yeah, it's interesting to see. Relatively excited about it. I mean, I can never get enough football. With the 17th game, it did also push the Super Bowl back to February 13th, I believe. Usually the Super Bowl, obviously, me, you, watch. You, other friends, my girl. Watch the Super Bowl this year. It was around the 7th. It's usually the first week. It's pushing into the second week. But I mean, why NFL? You put it before Valentine's Day? You ain't slick? It's okay. Don't look at me like that. Y'all ain't Kobe.
Y'all ain't even Luka.
Man, Kobe's better than Luka.
Anyways. My opinions on the 17th game, like Derek said, is more football. It's gonna decrease preseason games by 3. So for all the undrafted free agents and all the unsigned rookies and all that, you're only gonna get really 3 opportunities to prove you belong in the NFL.
Wrong. They get organized team activities, they get mini camp, and they get training camp. We will be covering that on future podcast episodes as well. Also, you know that mouse for Disney?
Mickey Mouse?
He's Mickey Mouse. You know that company that's sports related that's owned by Disney?
ESPN?
ESPN. You know that guy Paul Pierce?
You want to talk about that on here?
Yeah, I want to talk about that on here.
Screw it.
So, Paul Pierce, my man, shout out to you, because you probably had one of the best Instagram live stories since, was it Tory Lanez that had quarantine radio?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say much with that because I ain't trying to get in trouble.
Y'all seen the videos, man.
But y'all seen the video with Paul Pierce. He had scrippers.
No more Paul Pierce slander.
He had, I'm still going to have to slander the man. He was a Celtic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have to slander.
How do you know he played for the Celtics?
Did you say, how do I not know? I didn't know.
Yeah, like, you played for the Celtics, right?
I just second guessed myself. Shut up. You want to get canceled like Paul Pierce got canceled from Disney?
I mean,
He wasn't Disney Plus. He was on Disney Thrust.
I mean, if I had exotic dancers and cold drinks on my Instagram lives, people would probably compliment the hell out of me.
Yeah, until you get cough.
Eh.
This man doesn't take it serious. Surprise. Anywho, Paul Pierce.
I mean, it costs you your job. Oh, yeah.
Cost you your job, big fella, but
Hey.
I'm sure Fox will hire you. You gonna go hang out with Skip and Shay Shay?
Oof. I don't know who's gonna give it to him worse, Skip or Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp.
Or Colin Coward.
Mm-hmm.
Or who else they got over there? Brian Windhorst?
Mm-hmm. So, Jalen, you been to any movies lately?
No, I haven't really been to the movies since, the pandemic.
The Panic at the Disco, yes, I feel you. I actually have been to the movies. I saw Godzilla vs. Kong or Kong vs. Godzilla.
So tell us, Derek, who won that?
No spoilers here on the WhattaPlay podcast.
I mean, you can spoil for me, I don't care.
I'll tell you later off camera.
Isn't Millie Bobby Brown in that movie too?
I believe so. She plays 11, right?
Yeah, that's out.
Yes. So, a relatively good movie, but the reason I asked this is because me and my girlfriend, shout out to you, babe, we went and saw the movie, and there was a trailer that played. You know what I'm about to say. Space Jam 2 Electric Boogaloo. No, it's obviously called Space Jam 2 A New Legacy. Starring LeBron James. This time it's not going to be the Toon Squad. It's going to be, it is the Toon Squad. Sorry, I misspoke.
It's not the Monstars.
It's not the Monstars, which is a bit misleading because LeBron did release a pair of shoes with Nike inspired by the Monstars. So you let me down with that. I still want to get those shoes, but they're relatively expensive, and I'm not sneakerhead much like this one. I did get some new KDs. They're pretty fire, though. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. This is the second Space Jam. I know in an earlier podcast episode we covered the sadness of, what was it, Lola Bunny's redesign, which it's a cartoon, get over it, you perverts. Pepe Le Pew being canceled, which he don't need to be in that movie if he don't consent.
I mean, let's be honest, in the real Space Jam, Pepe Le Pew didn't even do anything.
Exactly, he was a side character. Anyways, LeBron James, the Goon Squad this time, not the Monstars, and the villain is Don Cheadle, surprisingly. For those of you that don't know, Don Cheadle...
Shout out Captain Planet.
Don Cheadle came to fame with some roles. Most notably, what I know him for is War Machine in the Iron Man movies. Obviously, the first one was a different actor altogether in Terrence Howard, but then Don Cheadle took over the role. The role, not road. But yeah, Jalen, thoughts on the new Space Jam movie? I know you're not the biggest LeBron fan, even though you do got his shoes, which thanks to you, I gotta get my mother a pair.
I mean, hey. But yeah, so obviously if you guys follow the Twitter page for the podcast, I kind of voiced my displeasure on the movie. Now,
yes, and next time you do that, mark your tweets with your initial, because I do not have the same opinions as you.
But kind of going into my, I guess, review of the trailer. Now, the Goon Squad. You know who's on the Goon Squad?
Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard.
Who looks like a robot.
He does. There's that one.
Diana Taurasi. She
Yes.
kind of looks like a spotter. And you got Klay Thompson, who looks like a great body version of the Human Torch. Almost the Flash. Yeah, great body Human Torch. There we go.
Yes.
Now, I remember, when the trailer dropped, I kind of had to watch. I know I had to rewatch it 3 times because I remember a couple years ago before COVID and all that they said that LeBron did recruit Klay, Dame, and Taurasi to be in the movie. Obviously, I believe the addition of Anthony Davis was
once he got traded to the Lakers,
because
obviously,
teammates
yes.
now.
Definitely, I would agree with that assessment.
But me personally, LeBron dislike aside and all that, I don't like it because I thought it would be like the original. Obviously, we all know how the original one went down. So when this movie was first rumored to come out, I'm like, all right, cool. So they're gonna, I'm like, all right, bet. So they're gonna remake it like the original, and then it's gonna add more fuel to the LeBron versus Jordan debate.
Yes, but here's my disagreement with you, Jalen. Is you're thinking of a reboot, whereas this is a sequel. A sequel is not supposed to be anything like the original. Take the first Captain America, if you've seen it, and then take Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
I've seen the first Captain America numerous times.
Yeah, so they're not the same. It follows the same character, the same story. LeBron wants to do his own thing, because think about it.
You don't even got the real Bronny in there.
Think, okay, well, he shouldn't have been smoking on that pack, and he maybe would have had a role in the movie. Or maybe he just don't want to expose his kids to that fame, which then again, that's kind of a stupid thing to say because that guy is LeBron.
Bronny. Bryce, I think Bryce is just chilling. I know Zuri got her own YouTube channel. I do my research.
Interesting. But that said, I am excited for the new Space Jam movie. Obviously, the original Space Jam holds a special place in a lot of 90s kids' heart. Personally, when I'm working out and stuff, I do be playing the Space Jam theme song sometimes. You know, it's a great motivator. That said, let this be a forewarning. If you take your kids to see Space Jam 2, if you see a 6'4" close to, we're not going to get into how much I weigh because I'm sensitive about that topic. If I stiff arm
you see a great body Luke Combs trying to stiff arm you out of the movie theaters, you kind of been warm.
Yeah.
But kind of putting my last little 2 cents in it. Some of the actors have been announced on who's playing who. Zendaya's going to be playing Lola Bunny.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are excited about that.
Gabriel Iglesias is going to be playing Speedy Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Shout out Fluffy getting that bag, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, going back to what Derek said about the original Space Jam, obviously nostalgic for a lot of people, nostalgic for Jordan fans of the 90s era of basketball. And me personally, just, from a sneaker standpoint, Space Jam 11 is one of the most iconic Jordans of all time. resold for way too much. Resold for double my rent. It was basically those and the Chicago 9 in that movie. So that's kind of what I kind of reminisce the movie about. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a very bad mouth in the movie, but I'm still gonna watch it.
I mean, I did tell my girl, I know I keep saying that a lot, but it is what it is. I did tell her when it played, I was like, I want to see that. So yeah, that's definitely gonna be something me and her go see. Movie theaters are a lot safer now, I will say that. I had a relatively nice experience. There was nobody, when we went and saw Godzilla vs. Kong, there was nobody sitting 2 seats to the side of her or 2 seats to the side of me. It was just me and her, 2 seats, and they spaced it out. So yeah, relatively nice experience. If y'all want to experience going to the movies, I know in today's day and age, you have HBO Max and all that kind of ruins that market. So it's nice to support your local movie theater and whatnot.
Well, if we're being honest, all local movie theaters can consist of big name companies, Cinemark and Regal and Synergy. So
I'm aware of what ours are, but I'm talking like across the United States, across the globe. Yes. So that said, what other news do we have today? Because I do have one other thing. You got anything on the NASCAR front? Because I have some wrestling news.
Yes. So from the last time we spoke to you guys, NASCAR was off this weekend, this past weekend due to Easter. But the week before, for the first time since the 50s, NASCAR raced on a dirt track, and it was a huge monumental thing for the sport. The Cup Series was the first time they raced on dirt since, back in the day, like when NASCAR was first formed. Joey Logano did end up winning the race, which, I mean, it is what it is. But, hey, so far so good with the NASCAR season. 7 races, 7 different winners. So far a lot more better than last season with the variety of winners.
Yes, definitely. And on the wrestling front, WWE personally speaking, we are creeping up on WrestleMania weekend. I know I covered that in a further back podcast, but now I got some more detail. There's a lot more matches that have been added. Mind if I see your phone for a minute? Because I don't know the exact match card off the top of my head. So I am going to read it off. Do apologize for that, but we are not perfect. If we were, we wouldn't be sitting here.
Hold on, I want to update on the Yankee Orioles game real quick.
Nah, don't give me that update, because y'all are probably kicking our ass, right?
Yeah, we are.
How badly?
7-0.
Oof. Baltimore. I'm going to become a Padres fan.
I mean, you're a Machado fan, so you can go for that, I guess.
I'm not a sellout. Okay, so yes, WrestleMania 37 will be taking place at Raymond James Stadium. For those of you that do not know, that is the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's going to be a pirate ship.
Pirates.
Arg.
Arg.
Ahoy, matey.
You will walk the plank, but you won't collapse on the plank.
Damn. So anyways, WrestleMania will be Saturday, April 10th, 2021. That will be night 1, and it will end Sunday, April 11th. Obviously, with cough going around since last year, with this whole Panic at the Disco. They made WrestleMania a 2-night event. Your match card for WrestleMania 37 is as follows. We are going to have, and this was just updated 54 minutes ago, so night 1, you're going to have your WWE Champion Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre. For those of you who do not know, Drew McIntyre was the former champion. The Miz had the Money in the Bank contract, cashed it in, and then Bobby Lashley beat him. So, yeah, that's going to happen. I have Drew McIntyre winning over Bobby Lashley. You have your SmackDown Women's Championship match, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. I have Bianca Belair, the winner of the Women's 2021 Royal Rumble, winning that. You have, obviously, me and Jalen covered this one. Bad Bunny versus The Miz. For some reason, just to get the recognition out there, I see Bad Bunny picking up the win over The Miz.
And if I may butt in, obviously I'm nowhere near as big a wrestling fan like Derek, but I'll go off on a limb. I guess whenever they have celebrity guest appearances in WrestleMania, I know when Gronk did it a couple years back, he won his. So I feel like they're gonna put in the script to have Bad Bunny beat The Miz.
Yes.
That's just me.
Cesaro versus Seth Rollins, which is probably going to be an underrated match, but could be match of the night. Give me Seth Rollins. Your Raw Tag Team Championship match, New Day versus AJ Styles and Omos. For those of you who don't know, Omos is the big-ass bodyguard dude that follows AJ Styles around. And AJ Styles he was the face of TNA for a while. TNA was the alternate to WWE. Give me AJ Styles and Omos, just because that will make AJ Styles a Grand Slam champion. Give me in Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman in a steel cage match. Shane McMahon goes out on a limb, does all these crazy stunts. He's pretty much like, I would say he's the Steve-O of WWE.
Little side note, I only known Shane McMahon
Because of the sneakers, right?
Yeah.
So give me Braun Strowman in that match, just because I know Shane McMahon likes to put talent over. He did the deed for The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. Him and AJ Styles at WrestleMania 33 put on a hell of a match. I think he beat Nakamura at 34, and I could just keep going and going. But however, night 2, your Universal Championship match that was originally Roman Reigns versus Edge is now a triple threat match between Roman, Edge, and Daniel Bryan. And give me Edge beating the Tribal Chief in Roman Reigns. Daniel Bryan obviously came back from retirement back in 2016 and is still going strong and still in the title picture. Your Raw Women's Championship, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. For those of you who do not know Rhea Ripley, she was very big in NXT, which is kind of like the WWE developmental brand. Actually, nowadays it's more of a third brand, but you do get called up from NXT to either Raw or SmackDown. You have The Fiend, which is Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. Obviously, we've seen this match before at WrestleMania with the Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 33 when Bray had the WWE Championship. I really don't care for this match, but give me The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Your Intercontinental Championship match, Big E versus Apollo Crews. Give me Apollo Crews. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Now, you wouldn't know because obviously you're not as big of a fan of wrestling, and that's fine. I'm not as big as a fan of NASCAR. We each have our own our likes and dislikes. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have a rivalry that date back to when Kevin Owens was going by Kevin Steen and Sami Zayn was going by El Generico on the independent scene. They have chemistry. In this match, give me Sami Zayn. Your United States Championship match, Matt Riddle, which if you don't know any history about Riddle, he used to be a former UFC MMA fighter. Couldn't lay off the weed, as Stephen A. Smith would say.
Or Paul Pierce.
Yes. So Sheamus is going to be challenging him for the United States Championship. Give me Matt Riddle defending his title. And the rest of them are just predictions. You'll have your women's and men's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Don't really have much to say there until that match is confirmed. And then they're saying for the SmackDown tag titles, you're going to have Ziggler and Rude versus the Street Profits. If that match were to happen, give me the Street Profits retaining. Obviously, same way Jalen wanted to do a baseball themed episode today. When we get into it and when we get closer, if we have the time, we probably will do one that's focused on that. So do your research on that, buddy. That said,
so 2 more things to cover in today's episode. Like Jack I mentioned earlier, 30 minutes from now we'll have the national championship game in NCAA men's basketball. We do apologize for not really focusing so much on the tournament this
we couldn't really do a bracket as we had promised y'all because obviously Jalen works a part-time job that puts him on full-time hours and kind of messes with him a lot. I'll just say.
That's the nice way of talking about my job.
Yeah, we're not going to diss companies here or anything. We're not that type of podcast. Petty season. And I have a full-time job and I go to school full-time. So it's hard to manage this. I manage school, I manage work, and I manage a date in life on top of all that. So we do what we can where we can, and the support really does mean a lot to us. And, we do love and appreciate the support that all y'all have. But as co-host Jalen was saying, national championship game is going to be 20-something minutes from now. I know he said 30, but some time elapsed. Gonzaga versus Baylor. Now, this is something interesting you pointed out to me that I didn't know. Who's that guy that played for Gonzaga that hit that game-winning shot the other night?
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, Jalen Suggs, beautiful half-court game winner off the glass. He's actually second cousins with Terrell Suggs.
With T-Sizzle. He got that championship DNA in his blood. It seems like it's too good to be true for Gonzaga to go all the way to where they did and win. But we're one game away from that happening. So, co-host Jalen, let me ask you, who you got?
Hey, man, y'all know diehard Louisville first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
Been a Cardinals fan my whole life.
Which Cardinals we talking about? I know which ones we're talking about. Go on.
But Gonzaga, I've always had a love for that program. I have family in Spokane. For those who don't know, Gonzaga University is located in Spokane, Washington. So every single time I go online, when I check, my aunt, she's always raving about Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta keep it in the fam, man. I gotta go for Gonzaga. If they win tonight, they will be the first team since 1972. I know somebody's gonna probably correct me in the comments. The 1972 Indiana Hoosiers team to go undefeated. So we've been going about 40-something years without an undefeated national champion. They kind of recapped it during the course of the game.
Mm-hmm.
There have been undefeated teams who have made deep runs in the tournament. The last team to do so was the 2015 Kentucky team, led by Karl Anthony Towns and Devin Booker, to get upset by the Wisconsin Badgers. So, yeah, it's hard to go undefeated in any sport, but to go undefeated in college basketball, to actually maintain that momentum going into the tournament and then make it into the championship game, is really, really hard to do. But yeah, Gonzaga, they won tonight, 32-0, undefeated season, national champions. It'll be the first in school history, so I gotta go for Gonzaga. Shout out Jalen Suggs, he has the best first name of all time.
Got the best last name of all time too, Suggs.
And shout out Drew Timmy with the handball mustache, also from Dallas, so got a little Texas connection there.
Speaking of Texas connection, the other team playing in the national championship game tonight is Baylor. Obviously, we referenced Baylor quarterback earlier in RG3. I was rocking with Baylor since Maryland got eliminated from the tournament, but I kind of find it hard to root against this Gonzaga team, man. They're undefeated for a reason. That's not luck. That's skill, determination, blood, sweat.
Not to interrupt you real quick, but obviously you're not really as up on the college basketball scene like I am.
Yes.
Gonzaga, they always kind of get talked down on the whole, they can have an undefeated regular season, but they're playing the West Coast Conference. They don't play nobody until the tournament. Like I said, going undefeated in any sport is really, really hard to do, but that's just kind of been a thing with Gonzaga for, a while now. It's been the whole, they don't play nobody, and when they play in the tournament, they always get eliminated by like Duke or Carolina or Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, I'll let you finish up real quick.
I mean, like I said, I was rocking with Baylor. I think if Baylor were to beat Gonzaga, it would be considered an upset, yeah?
It would, and also be Baylor's first national championship. We actually stayed, we're not going to give you guys our actual location, but we stayed about an hour from Waco, which is where Baylor is located. So, kind of, home team, I guess you could say. Obviously, none of us are Baylor fans. None of us attended Baylor, but
I could have if I studied more.
And I probably could have actually did something in school besides hit on chicks all the time.
It's okay, we got the podcast, but make sure you got consent to hit on women, okay?
Fine.
Don't. Boy, I will smack the shit out of you. Anyways, give me Gonzaga over Baylor. I'll probably put the game on as background noise tonight while I'm working on some stuff, obviously. What was the other thing you wanted to talk about before we wrap this up?
So kind of our first segment, and shout out to our friend Ryan. Yeah,
shout out Cheese.
You better watch this episode too, man, because we talk about you. So Ryan kind of gives us, smack.
He gives us shit.
He gives
all
us
the
crap
time.
because we're not Homer fans.
Yeah, let me say, this man likes the Yankees, likes the Cardinals, likes the Louisville Cardinals, likes Oregon. I like LSU football, Maryland Terps, basketball, college. The Lakers for basketball, the Ravens for football, the Packers for football. Yes, I have two teams, surprise, surprise. And the Orioles for baseball. And this man says it don't make no sense because you need to like every team where you were geographically from. Well, newsflash, buddy. The Baltimore Bullets don't exist anymore, and I will not claim to be a Wizards fan. Yes, I know they have Russell Westbrook. I do not care.
And Bradley Beal.
Yes, and I still do not care. I am a Lakers fan. I have been since Lamar Odom and Derek Fisher played. Yes, I got into the game of basketball late as well. I got into the game of basketball before I got into the game of football. But yeah, I've stuck with them through the losing seasons too. So don't come at me and call me a bandwagon because I ain't. But what was your question, Jalen?
So basically, he kind of described the scenario. Is it necessarily bad to not be a Homer fan? I mean, for me, obviously, I'm Texas born and raised, but I hate the Cowboys. I kind of mess with the Mavs only because of Luka. The Rangers suck. The Stars, they kind of only started being good the past couple of years. UT hasn't been up since Colt McCoy. So, basically that's, Texas home teams, right? I mean, obviously I could say, Astros. I mean, I'm a Spurs fan, so I guess that counts. Technically, San Antonio is the closest city to us with a professional sports team.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the Spurs in San Antonio. So, I mean, yeah, I could have been, a Texans fan, a Spurs fan, an Astros fan, a Baylor Bears fan, and that would count. But according to our friend Ryan here, you have to like, all home teams. So, well, I mean, then again, now I think about it, in a way, you're kind of a homer with the Ravens and the Orioles.
The Ravens, the Orioles, the Terps, but outside of that, I root for other teams.
So, I mean, obviously, I don't think that it's bad to not be a homer. I mean, and where we live, we see, people who are Chiefs fans, Steelers
Chiefs,
fans,
Packers, Steelers,
fans.
Patriots. We see all 32 teams and then some. You'll see mofos walking around here with Houston Oilers jerseys on. Actually, those KDs I was referencing earlier, I think you would agree they have the Oilers colorway.
So they have the old Dragan Petrovic vibes going on, the old mid-90s Brooklyn Nets jerseys.
Yes, that as well. But they do also give off Oiler vibes because that was the same colors. Obviously, Steve McNair. Shout out to Steve McNair, may he rest in peace.
Shout out to Campbell one time.
Shout out Warren Moon.
Yeah, my dad likes Warren Moon, but he went to UW, so...
Yeah, but not to get into too much more detail, but yes, I do agree it's not a bad thing to be a homer. So that said, or you don't necessarily have to be a homer, but it's not a bad thing to be one either.
Because let's be honest, if you're from Detroit, you probably have...
You leave Eminem out of this.
If you're from Detroit and you like all Detroit teams, it's already bad enough you're from Detroit, but you like sorry teams too.
You like Jared Goff.
You're just down bad, man.
Megatron even knew to get out of there.
No, you're just tired.
Yeah, why do you think he left? Because he knew how down bad they were.
So yeah, I guess if you were from, say, the Bay or Los Angeles, yeah, you probably have the time of your life right now. Lakers, Dodgers, as much as you probably hate Jimmy, he'd say Clippers, Angels. I mean, going to the Bay, you got Niners, I guess, Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Giant fans can still go off of the 3 and 7 years.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Basically, it's not bad if you're not a homer, because let's be honest, if you're from Texas, you're probably either Cowboys or Texans fans, so you're down bad either way with those teams. If you're from, if you're from Florida, you're probably just starting to claim the Bucks now because they just won the Super Bowl.
Yes, but that said, and I'm not trying to cut you off or anything, but he was going on a little tangent there, buddy boy. We both agree that you don't have to be a homer. Jalen, before we wrap this podcast up, because I know you're trying to get out of here to go watch that national championship game, you have any PSAs you want to share with the class?
Yes, class. So, Professor JTO's PSAs, kind of the same stuff, I guess. Stop Asian hate, Black Lives Matter, continue to be safe out there, all that good stuff. Be positive, all the main stuff.
Okay, and then my PSAs. obviously I've stated on this podcast plenty of times before, we do not have any place or tolerance for homophobia, sexism, racism, transphobia. Don't be mean to somebody who is trans, somebody who is non-binary, somebody who is still figuring out their sexuality or their gender or anything like that, because one, it doesn't concern you, and two, you just look like a McDumbass if you do. My second PSA for the night before we wrap this up. I have an appointment to go and get my first vaccine for COVID on next Monday. I believe I'm getting the Pfizer vaccine. Now, I'm not saying y'all have to go out and get that one, but if you are concerned about this pandemic and want things to go back to a sense of normalcy, go ahead and get yourself vaccinated. There are studies out there that prove that they're effective, that they work, this, that, and the other. And I work with a med student. She swears by it. I trust her. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add tonight?
Nothing really going on with that. If anything, just the whole, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video, follow the Twitter page.
Tell your grandparents, share with your dogs, your cats, your snakes. Shout out Kevin Durant.
No, we don't call Kevin Durant snake no more.
I'm sorry, but the man plays for Brooklyn and recruited a super team.
You know what?
I'm going to call
next week's episode, since we didn't get to do it before, we'll recap NBA free trade deadline, what this means for the season going forward. We'll recap, Lakers, Spurs. So that'll be the main one next week.
Okay, so you want to do a basketball themed one next week?
Sure, why not? Because I know we didn't cover.
Remember, if we get to that before WrestleMania happens, then sure. But if not, we're doing WrestleMania, and then we'll just do basketball the following week.
The 10th this weekend, so.
Because remember, your boy is going on vacation towards the end of this month, so I can shoot like 2 more episodes.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna have to carry the little wings away.
Load.
Sir.
But anyways, thank y'all for the love, support, watching the podcast. We know sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're shorter. Sir. Anyways, it's not about the length of the podcast. It's about how entertaining it is. Anyways, we got much love for y'all. Thank you for watching. Jalen's having a mini stroke over here, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. Damn it, Derek. We are children. We should not be trusted with this technology. But don't do school. Stay in drugs. Kiss your loved ones. Hug them tight. Love you a long time. This has been Big Vanilla and
JTL.
Signing off. Much love. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment.
Share the videos, all that good stuff.
Get Whataburger to sponsor us too. We did put a tweet out earlier.
Here's something for y'all too. So if you guys like the video, share it anywhere. Y'all make sure y'all tag Whataburger in the comments, man. Get them to notice us and try to hook us up with the endorsement deal.
We need sponsors.
I mean, free Whataburger don't hurt either.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up because he wants to go watch the game. I got some other stuff I gotta do. Much love. This should be uploaded. If I get up early enough, it will be uploaded tomorrow. And if not, then I will upload it on Thursday. But alright, one more time for the one time. Much love.
Those ads, baby.